Hello there, I'm Sandy Anastasi, Psychic Channel, Intuitive Astrologer, and Soul Coach. And I'm here with my Psychic Protection Tip number 45 for you today. This is also going to be your Psychic Protection Tip number 1 for tools for psychic protection. This particular protection tip is introducing a new series of tips that's all about using tools for psychic protection. When you're too tired or perhaps ill, and you feel like you cannot do a good enough job protecting yourself psychically, when you're dealing with a whole lot of negativity around you, or if you feel like you need extra protection for any purpose, or when you're just beginning to use the psychic protection techniques you're learning, it's very helpful to have a real, tangible tool to help. There are many such tools, and they're easy to purchase or create. If you've worked with my whole series of tips on mirror magic or using mirrors for protection, you're already using tools to aid you in your psychic protection. In this particular series, I'm going to tell you about some of my very favorites and how to use them. The first psychic protection tip in this series is all about how to use a 0-point pendant for protection. Of course, I'm going to tell you what a 0-point pendant is first. You can see that I'm wearing one here. But first, I want to remind you to always remember that use of psychic protection tools doesn't replace your own grounding or psychic protection techniques that you've learned to do through various visualization processes. It's those techniques that train you to work with energy. Being able to protect yourself without tools is always your first and last line of defense. That said, you're impatiently waiting, I'm sure, for me to tell you what a 0-point pendant is. If you watched my videos, you've probably seen that I usually wear a donut-shaped hematite necklace. The one I'm wearing today is a slightly different shape, but it does the same thing. That's a 0-point pendant. And yes, I wear these for extra protection nearly all the time. The pendant type that I wear is for sale on my website, and there are also many other sources online where you can purchase a 0-point pendant and other 0-point products as well. If you buy one from a source other than my website, please be sure to read all about the testimonials concerning them and make sure of the authenticity of your purchase. These are expensive items to purchase, and you want to make sure when you get one that it is actually going to work the way it is supposed to. Not all 0-point items are created equal, unfortunately. Here's what 0-point technology is, in words that we psychics can easily understand. An object, any object, it doesn't have to be a necklace, is run through a series of light waves, radiation, magnetic currents, and sound to alter its atomic structure in such a way as to cause it to create and project a dynamic energy field around anyone wearing or even touching it. Simply put, it sets up a protective field around you. Objects commonly treated with 0-point technology include necklaces, bracelets, buttons you can use to put on your computer, smartphone, or laptop to prevent radiation exposure, discs that can be used for healing or rebalancing, water or any other food or liquid, and the list goes on. These are really great tools. The material the object is made of is not important except for cosmetic reasons. What's important about the 0-point technology is the energetic field it sets up around you for protection. Of course, in the case of my hematite pendant that I usually wear, or this one that I have on today, it's very important to realize that the qualities of the stone itself are going to affect how that necklace affects you as well. And I'm going to put more about that in my next psychic protection tip. Meanwhile, 0-point technology was created for health purposes. The idea is to set up a sort of electromagnetic field around someone that can neutralize radiation and other kinds of electromagnetic waves and short waves in our atmosphere that can cause harm. Folks with environmental illnesses really benefit from that. It was quite by accident that I found out how effective this tool is in aiding psychic connection and protection. I personally use very few tools in my own practice. I first began using a zero-point pendant when a friend of mine, who happens to be the scientist behind the zero-point necklace technology, handed me one to wear just before I was going to see a client for a psychic reading. I thought I'd give it a try. I was traveling internationally at the time, and not only was I working wirelessly on Skype with poor internet connection, I was an ocean away from my client. I'd done readings like this many times before, and even with my normal protection in place, I was already expecting the extreme effort I'd need to apply to be able to connect with the client and with my guides and theirs to do my future-oriented channeled session with them. Much to my surprise, when the client picked up the phone, their presence was so strong, I felt like they were in the same room with me. Our guides came through easily and clearly. There was absolutely no outside interference from any source, not even the people loudly talking outside my room. I was pretty amazed. It was one of the easiest and best sessions I'd ever done. So I asked my friend if I could keep the necklace and experimented further. The next 5 clients I read with the pendant on with the same ease as the first. Then I removed the pendant for the next 3 clients and found the normal walking through knee-deep mud experience was back again. I have used a zero-point pendant ever since whenever I read clients, whenever I lead a seminar, whenever I do a webinar online, whenever I do my channeled writing, or even just to go out in public to do some shopping or even visit a friend. One of my best friends, in fact, has become my zero-point pendant. I'm Sandy Anastasi. I hope this psychic protection tip number 1 for tools for psychic protection, was as much help, or will be as much help for you, as it has been over the years for me. Visit my website. I'm at www.sandyanastasi.com. You can find out more about me and my work there. Sign up for my monthly newsletter, which is free, and of course my monthly psychic hour, also free, and find out what I'm doing in terms of classes and education and cruises and just all kinds of wonderful things, both online and off. It's an entire education in metaphysics once you click through to my site, www.sandyanastasi.com. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you next month with another tip.